Dude, I had no fucking goals. I had nothing in my life and nothing going on. God, if this is it, this is it. This is your choice. But if you can grant me one more time, one more chance, one more wish, one more attempt at life, I promise you I will go out there and be the best version of myself. Start living your life now. If you want to be a CEO, start living like a CEO now. If you want to be a high performer realtor who's just $20-30 million of growth revenue a year, start living like that now.
Welcome back to Real Sense Now, the show where we don't just talk about real estate, but where we explore the stories and strategies that shape the extraordinary life and businesses of our guests. I'm your host, Dawood Bedrosian, and today's episode is more than just a conversation. It's a masterclass in resilience, reinvention, and purpose-driven leadership. My guest, Khurram Bukhari, is the CEO and co-founder of Noor Med Spa and one of Florida's fastest-growing aesthetics wellness brands. He's also the powerful voice behind the Stroke of Success podcast, a platform dedicated to stories of comeback, courage, and clarity. But KB's story isn't just an inspiring story, it's real. After surviving a life-altering stroke, he rebuilt himself from the ground up, learning how to walk, speak, and so much more to go from the rock bottom stage that he was all the way up to the top. Today, we're diving deep into how adversity forged his entrepreneurial mindset, the systems that now run multiple success ventures, and why your biggest setbacks might just be your greatest setups. Whether you're founding a new business, you're navigating through burnout, you're building values in your driven brand, or if you're someone who's just stuck and looking to make a comeback, this show is for you. Let's step into the story behind the brand, the mindset behind the mission, and the heart behind the hustle. Welcome to Real Sense Now. KB, welcome to the show.
How are you, man?
It's nice to actually have a fellow podcaster sitting across from me. We're in the same kind of space. We have a lot of very similar interests. And more importantly, we have a lot of mutual friends.
Yeah.
And, you came highly referred by a lot of our friends. And when we did meet, it was almost like we knew each other for 20 years or so. It was a very natural conversation. So I'm really looking forward for my audience to get to know a little bit about you and get to know more about what it is that we generally do. And let's give it all to them. Let's tell them, the secrets to success. Let's tell them what's working, what's not working, whether it's podcasting or social media or, several of your other business ventures that you're doing and all the different initiatives that you're trying to create here in Central Florida.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Thank you for having me on, number one, Dawood. The initial mutual friend, I was at dinner. I went to park with my wife and his wife, my lawyer, one of my closest friends ever. I adore this guy, Nishad Khan. He goes, "Hey, you know Dawood, right?" I go, "Dawood, dude, you don't know Dawood? He's a realtor. You're a realtor. Your podcast, Heat podcast. You both are right out there." I'm like, "Okay." You connect with them and go on his podcast, have him on your podcast. And then that's how we met. So.
Absolutely. And I share the same sentiments. One of my first friends that I met here in town, also my attorney and advisor and just a great guy all around. So it's really beautiful when the universe pulls people together that are like-minded, that have, a nice agenda for what they would like to create and impact the world around them as well too. So
100%.
Honestly, for that reason, if for no other reason, thank you for being on the show.
All right. Thank you.
I know your story.
Yes.
And there's so many places where I think I would like to start.
Sure.
But I would like for you to just basically tell it from your perspective.
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about who KB is.
Sure.
And how you got here.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for having me. Born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, to Pakistani parents. Immigrant parents had me in Brooklyn, 82. Very poor, dead poor. Our apartment was this size, 800 square foot. My mom and dad was a limousine driver, TLC driver. Mom was a housewife. My dad decided to leave me and my mom. I was about 5 to 6 years of age. Just walked out the door and never looked back. So I was raised by a single mom and her mom, my grandmother, on food stamps and welfare in Brooklyn all through the 80s, all through the 90s, and eventually I moved to South Florida. A little bit of a context there. mindset was poor. My mom never got over her husband leaving her. The subconscious mind, as they say the subconscious mind developed from 0 to 7 as the age. Mine was like, oh, we're not white, so we can never be successful. Money doesn't grow on trees. You have to either be a doctor or engineer to make 6 figures. And a lot of limiting beliefs I was growing up with. So that's my upbringing. Quickly, my mom got diagnosed with cancer in 1998. I was 17. She was 35. We moved to South Florida with my uncle. And then she lost her battle there eventually. So I was here. Thank you. So here I am, 21, 22 years of age in South Florida, a loan officer, the first bubble that came, making great money. But my only mom here is sick, and I'm numbing the pain with Miami sweets, as they say, and goodies, right? Nightclubs, bars, all the above. Just trying to kill myself.
Sounds like a horrible time.
Yes. Well, listen. It could be a good time for the right reasons, yes. But if you're numbing the pain, it's the worst. She passes away. I meet my wife, girlfriend back then, like 2 weeks after, and then she was the light in my life. I said, wait a minute, you're going down this bad road here. You have great potential. You and I are getting along really well. If you want to marry me, you don't have to become a doctor. She was becoming a doctor, but listen, you need some type of education, something.
It's funny with a lot of ethnic parents. There's only 3 professions you can ever really be, right?
What is it?
Doctor, lawyer, engineer.
There you go. And
it depends what kind of doctor.
Yes.
Not all doctors can.
No. The market changes. Inflation. I'm like, dude, I'm a businessman. I want to be an entrepreneur. I'm 22. I'm in real estate, mortgages. I want to do other stuff. No, not really. You need to get a degree. So I went back to get a degree. Fast forward. Got married, things are okay. Went from my MBA, became an executive marketing guy, traveling the world. In 2017, we had this beautiful townhouse. We are now the it couple in South Florida. We're on the rise, social parties and this and that. And 2017, I wake up morning, it's Christmas. We're supposed to celebrate. I'm Muslim, but we still celebrate our family. And my wife had to go to the hospital that day. As a doctor, she had a shift. And she goes, babe, I'm going to call a babysitter to come help you with the baby. Go ahead, relax today. So we had a long weekend. And okay, no problem. Gave her a hug and kiss goodbye. She was 9 months pregnant. She went to work. My babysitter was my baby here, feeding her. And I remember I go upstairs to take a little nap. And I just fell. Boom. My right side just gave in. And I'm like confused.
Did you have a stroke?
I had a stroke.
Oh my God.
35. Well, I mean, I was overweight, more overweight than back then. Not the most healthiest and confused as shit. Like, what the hell's going to happen? I call her, pick the phone up. And the words are not coming in my mouth. It's like gibberish. And she's like, hey, babe, I just got to work. Like, why are you messing around? It's not time to play. So I'm like, you okay? And my babysitter texted her, hey, Dr. Saima, Senior KB is not acting right. Dude, the story that babysitter told us was that I had my boxers on. I'm limping. I'm taking cold food out of the fridge with one hand. The food is falling down. Nothing is making sense. The droop is here. And this is not normal for me. My wife calls an ambulance. They got me to the hospital. 1 week coma induced. December 25th to New Year's Day. They come to her. They say, Dr. Saima, same hospital. Like, we know you really well. Call his family. It's not looking good. Call his best friend. Say all his father, his everything. So come say goodbye. Everyone came. Everyone sat there. I had no idea. I'm knocked out. And they left. And bottom line is the carotid artery had a dissection, which resulted in a clot in the brain. They had to go from the groin all the way up here, put a stent here, come down. And doing all that, I was learning back then too, that could do more damage than good. Like this is a very rare stroke. 35 is not very common. Miracle of God, universe, whatever you believe in, your choice. Dude, I survived it. Very little chances. Even surviving it, my wife tells me that they were telling her like, he'll survive it maybe, but don't expect him to do podcasts and run around and do anything else. So the hopes were very low. I remember like black and white. The doctor comes to me. The doctor was from the show Survivor. Remember the show on Survivor, CBS? He's actually a character on the show. He's a daytime job as a doctor. Anyways, doctor comes to me and he he says that to me. Hey, by the way, I'm your doctor. You've been out, and I'm on this show, Survivor. I'm like, what the fuck is this guy telling me Survivor? And he looks at me. He goes, Mr. Bukhari, you had a stroke. Take your ventilator out of your mouth. Took that out of my mouth. He goes, can you say a few words? And nothing came out. Okay, Mr. Bukhari, can you move your right hand, your fingers, your hand? Nothing moved. Your toes, your foot, your leg, nothing moved. And look at my wife's looking at me. I'm looking at her. I'm looking at this guy, and they're like, it's not good. It's not good. And I'm like, oh shit, this is not going to be good. And then he took my wife to the corner, and all due respect, he shouldn't have done this in front of me. He goes, I don't think he's going to do really well. And I'm hearing this shit happen in my ears. I'm hearing this shit, watching TV. And I'm like, when I'm hearing this, I'm processing this something in my mind. It's like, dude, this is not going to be it. This cannot be it. There's no way it's going to be. I'm going to show this guy. Anyways, he came and went. Everyone went. And I'm watching this movie, Batman Dark Knight Rises. You saw it. Christian Bale, he's in the cave, his back broken. Dude, this is a side from the universe, right? From God. His back is broken, and he has to come out of the cave. He tried once, he fell. And second time he won, we got out of it. Anyway, that scene had to come out at that time to wake something inside of me. I always been a Batman guy from childhood, according to that sound. I always kind of related with Bruce Wayne. He lost his parents. I lost my parents. He had money. I had no money. But that scene was something inside of me, and I'm like, fuck it. Can I curse? Fuck it. I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna do something. Nurse, so what happened? You okay? Yeah, I need a walker. Mr. Bukhari, your wife, Dr. Salmon told me, no, Dr. Salmon's not here. I'm the patient. Give me a fucking walker. Mr. Bukhari, no. Give me a fucking walker. Okay, give me a walker. Got the walker, and I'm getting on it. Barely can walk. I fall down. Got up again. Something inside of me is like, fuck, push yourself, KB, push yourself. And I'm walking out, my wife walking, and she's like, what the fuck are you guys doing? No, he can't walk. No. Like, well, sir, ma'am, he told us. I'm like, babe, I got it. No, I'm going to walk. And that was the first attempt from me to say, God's in charge. God's always in charge. But one last part I forgot to tell you. I looked up like this. And I said, God, I get ready. I get a little emotional saying this. God, if this is it. This is your choice. But if you can grant me one more time, one more chance, one more wish, one more attempt at life, I promise you I will go out there and be the best version of myself. And I will spread the word of inspiration. And I guess, that wish was granted, and I'm here in front of you now.
One of my favorite quotes, and I've said this many times on the show, our greatest glory consists of not falling, but rising after each and every time you fall. And your story is nothing more than the greatest testament to what's possible at the worst of your human condition, which in your case was laid out, paralyzed, in a stroke. You described the recovery process as being humbling, if you don't mind me saying that. What did that humility teach you about leadership and in life?
Oh, man. You're good, man. You are good. That's a good question. Dawood, I'm in a special hospital now. They've transferred me to a rehab hospital in Hollywood, Florida. And they take me into the therapy room. Bunch of patients. And I turn around, and I'm here, victim mentality. Oh my God, what happened to me? This is not cool. And that's my thought process. I look here, I see just young 22-year-old, good-looking kid. Nice built. Neck down. Completely out. His dad's right there with the stomach coming out. HVAC company hat. Dad's eyes are all red, emotional, looking at his son. The therapist is trying to get him up. I see Dad over there. I turn over here. I see something else. I see something else there. I see something else there. And I'm like, wow. You see life, because we always think of us first. We are very selfish by default. We are selfish. It's very sweet of you to first offer me coffee. Point this out. Most people are like, oh no, my coffee first. You don't have a cup. Sorry. We always think about ourselves. What's poor me? Look at me. Look at me. What happened to me? But we hardly see other people. In that situation, taught me, looked around and said, wait a minute, there's people that are worse off than you are. So take what you can get and show some gratitude. So to answer your question, in leadership, a big part of leadership, in my opinion, is you need gratitude. You need to start with gratitude, number one. Number two, I started to come up with an internal plan of how, whatever my situation is going to be, what can I contribute to it? So that's the number two lesson I learned. Control the controllables.
Like that. Because you can't control what you can't control. So why bother trying to control it anyways? And
you can control your attitude, right?
Yeah. And I think what you're right about is actually learning how to become present. We are all reliving our experiences from the past. And the truth is, our past exists in only one realm. The past. It doesn't exist. And we can't possibly rebuild our future self based on our current state of being. So I've been really inspired by the last couple of days, going through a little bit of a transition in my life, or I'd like to say the quiet before the storm. And I can already feel this run up. And I think what a lot of people struggle with is that they look for the results that they're looking for in the external world. So when this happens, then that will happen. When I get this job, then I will do this. And when I make this money, then I will do that. And when I do this, then I'll propose to my girlfriend, whatever the case may be. And I think what we fail to realize is that we just need to accept and understand internally and be at peace with it for what it is that you are creating through unbending belief. And I have to say that it's not faith, because faith is hope in something that could happen that you have no control over. This is conviction. It's a completely different way of being. When I ask you, did you personally and mentally have a choice in that situation when you were making the decision to turn around your life? Was there a choice?
Yes. Two things could have happened. And I'm surprised where I'm at, because my personality, I was a bitch boy. Let me give you some history there. And people say you're too hard on yourself. No, it's look, man, your parents are together, right? They raised you together. You had a father. The importance of having a male figure in your life, it's crucial. You know Patrick Bet-David, he has an amazing video. I'm going to send it to you. It gets me really emotional watching it. He goes like, I get it. We all get it. Mothers are important. But a father to be in a child's life is super important. My father wasn't there. I had two women raising me. There's no competitiveness. There's no shit like, hey, you're going to fall in life. It's okay. Get up. It was like, oh, poor baby. Oh my God, my grandson, my son, KB. I was like this prophet for them. And then you get it, bro. We're Pakistani, Arab, you're a boy. Boys are something close to God for most in Arabic, Asian cultures. But that fucked me over, man. Coming back to your question, stroke happens. Easily, I could have been in victim mentality. I can't work. I do part-time job. Maybe I can't do this. Oh my God. Or do what I did. I took faith over fear. I'll give you an example. Stroke happens. I move with my in-laws. My wife gave birth to a second baby. I used to be a marketing executive. I go back to my company about a month and a half later, fully healed. Well, physically, everything started to heal. Movement. Speech is a little bit better, but still not 100% like it is right now. I go back sitting across my boss, my mentor now, boss then, Alex. I go, Alex, I'm ready to come back to work. goes, okay, buddy, let's go for a walk. We go for a walk outside, big building, and he goes, hey, man, like, I love you to death, man. You've been out for 2 months. And KB, like, looking back, I don't know, man. I don't think this role was healthy for you or not. You made some not so good, unhealthy decision in your life also. I think I want to let you go, man. And Dawood, I heard this and looked at him. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? Like, you're supposed to be my big brother. You're supposed to be there for me. What the fuck? I hope you built this company. Victim mentality once again. I'm going to sue you. I'm going to do this to you. And he goes, bro, listen, relax. The world has a place for you. You still don't know it. I'm really excited what you're going to do with your life. Fuck you, Alex. I'm out of here. I'm driving home, just like that. I'm driving home. I'm crying. I'm 35. I'm living with the in-laws who didn't want me to marry their daughter 10 years ago. They love me now. I'm their favorite. They're my favorite. They're my parents. But this is not, it wasn't the case. I'm living in their house now. And I'm like thinking, like, what are they thinking? They're probably thinking, you see, we told you not to marry this asshole, and look what happened, right? And I'm like, I get there. I tell them what happened. They open their arms. Son, it's all good. We got you. You'll be fine. My wife gives me a hug. We're sitting like this, me and my wife, later that night. I go, babe, all the interviews I'm doing, I'm bombing. They're not calling me back. My speech is not there. Forget everything. Myself inside, my self-belief, my self-value was on the floor. She goes, babe, you did real estate in the past. You're good at being a people person. So go do real estate. And she told me that night. She goes, I didn't tell you this, KB, but the doctor had told me like 10% of your brain is damaged. The fact that you can go to the bathroom by yourself and help me with the kids and take a shower and read and write, I'll take it. We'll figure out our finances. She was on leave right now. We had some money put away. We're okay. Both of us working. She goes, why don't you just go sell the house? Sell the house. Try to sell the house. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe that's not a bad idea. Let's do that. Went back for my exam again. Got the exam passed. As I'm doing the exam, I'm going into self-development. Tony Robbins, Patrick Bet-Davids, all the gurus, the Ed Milet's, Grant Cardone, studying human psychology, studying NLP, studying law of attraction, manifestation. Of course, I'm reconnected with my higher power. I'm Muslim by faith. I'm not a practicing Muslim. I believe in higher power. I believe in prayer. And bro, things started to change slowly. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna use my story to get business. I went knocking on doors. My in-laws neighborhood. First house open. Hi, my name is KB. I live with my in-laws there. Oh, nice to meet you, KB. Nice to meet you too. They're your neighbors. I'm their son-in-law. I lost my job. I had a stroke. I'm a real estate agent. I heard you want to sell your house. She's like, oh. She goes, yeah, I have a listing agent I'm talking to. I go, listen, you could do what you want to do, but listen, I really can use your help right now, and I'll reduce my commission. I'm hungry. I'm super ready to go. And she goes, come inside. We have a chat and we got the listing. And just like that, the business picked up with 2018. Market was much better. The entrepreneur bug bit me at that time. Something started to turn here. I was working for a company called Robert Slack. Robert Slack, the broker, was living down here. He called me, KB, you're doing amazing. You ever thought about taking a team over? I go, Robert, I would love to. He goes, yeah, I have 30 agents. Think about coming to Orlando? Fuck yeah, let's go Orlando. My wife came, pack our shit. My in-laws like, what? They were really bitter about it. They're better about it now. And we moved to Orlando. I had a team of 30 agents, became team leader. Income went about 10x overnight. I'm like, wait a minute. This is how business works. This is how scaling works. This is how A to B, B to C works. Okay, interesting. 6 figures. I'm not a doctor. I'm not an engineer. Okay, this is how business works. So that was my entry into business. COVID is happening. Yeah, I came across a car wash, an investment I bought into as a partner, scaled it, sold it. Didn't do that good on it, but I didn't lose much on it either. But it was a good experience. At the same time, me and my wife were always talking about opening a med spa or opening a drug rehab or opening a older people facility. Different business ideas. Very blessed to have a wife who comes from a business background. She's like, babe, I'm done with the hospital work. Let's find something else to do. And we went with the med spa. We're sitting there talking about it. I'm like, you know what? My mom was a single mom. And, back then she had no money. There were no resources back then. There was no med spa back in the 80s. But I want to make a place, babe, where, families can come together. There's med spas all over. There's some are very sexy and very ultra chic. That's not us. We're more family-based, God-based med spa. Well, if you walk into our lobby, you see little kids with their grandparents and mom getting things done. Like, that's my inspiration. So we came up with Noor. You're Arabic. Noor means inner light.
Right.
Noor Med Spa started 2024, a year and a half, knock on wood, very good. And we're opening a second location. I'm going to announce it here right now. Second location pretty soon. And inshallah, the sky's the limit.
So the word that comes to mind listening to you is relearning. And I can just imagine how difficult that must have been. Relearning how to walk, relearning how to speak, relearning how to become a functioning, thriving member of society. How do you think it has helped shape your communication style, both in business and, of course, with what you do with podcasting, which is storytelling?
It's a great question, man. Stroke happens. I'm in the hospital. I remember my good first cousin Farouk was there visiting, and he goes, "Hey," he goes, you speak really fast. You're from New York. I went like, he goes, "You may not be able to speak the same way, but I'm going to let you know something. Powerful people have a pace and a tempo when they talk and communicate with people. So use this for your advantage." And that's stuck with me till now. To answer your question, I've learned, I needed to learn how to communicate once again. And by the way, it was good because the way I was doing it before, in my mind, I was this amazing Ari Gold from my entourage, entrepreneur.
I think everybody wanted to be
right?
Ari Gold,
New Yorker, Miami, And you're right. And you're mind everyone, right? But I wasn't. So I started to study NLP, different type of protocols, how to communicate, what word to use. And let me tell you something. From selling a house to you as my client, number one. Number two, hiring you as an agent to come on my team. Number two. Number three, podcast. Number four, now leading a team in the med spa. Communications, lack of or more of, it's everything. Like the words you use, the tempo you use, it can make a world of a difference. And I had to learn that again after the stroke.
You've shared that you've taught yourself to have therapy sessions with yourself. And I think for somebody who's listening to this wouldn't probably even know where to start. I think a lot of people are looking for answers outside of themselves. And yes, with the help of a lot of professional help, you could definitely help yourself with the therapy that you need to just get to the next stage in your life. And maybe that quiet, that space right now, that uncertainty, maybe not sure of something, you want to step into the next world. From your experiences going through, I could not even imagine how dismal or bleak life would look listening to a doctor paralyzed in a bed and looking at you across the table from me is a miracle all in itself. Can you explain what this practice looks like in your life today and how someone can benefit from what you were naturally able to teach yourself?
Yeah, you're being very kind. You're asking how someone can look at my story.
No, how can you explain the practice of you being able to give yourself therapy sessions to get you from a really horrible place from where you're at to finding a light, a better option, a better way of being?
Prior to the stroke, poor me, things are happening to me. Post-stroke, the flip happened, light switch happened where I started to look at life differently. And therapy for me was something I used to always ignore and not take part of. And I wish I had done it because I would have been, my life, my mind would have been further in life. maybe I wouldn't have gone down the route of using drugs and numbing myself and doing the bad stuff, right? Therapy, self-therapy, man, like, for example, if your audience is watching this, and I'm sure they are, and I'll recommend them to take a notebook out. Number one thing I recommend anyone is sit there every night by yourself and just monitor your thoughts. Dawood, your thoughts contribute to your reality. And a lot of people say, well, that's foo-foo, that's BS, that's that, this and this. And my response to them would be that, science proves it. It's in the Bible. It's in the Quran. It's in the Torah. It's in all the books of religions. How if you ask for, you should get. What you think about, you should receive. If you're a positive, would you always have positive situations? No. But you can learn how to work with them in a positive manner. So that principle, that philosophy for me, man, was huge. Someone out there sitting down and like they're lost, they're bitter that their boyfriend, girlfriend left them, the boss fired them, and I was first thing I said, tell them that, hey, take yourself out of the equation. Look at what you had done to what have you contributed to the situation, number one, and number two, what can you do to better your life now? You do have control. We do have control. But being a Muslim Pakistani, you're like, oh, Allah's in all control. Allah's the plan. And it is. Jesus, Allah, Moses, whatever you believe in. There's a higher power that's bigger than us. I get it. But what I believe, we co-create with a higher power. Of course, our intention, our thoughts, our actions. And then number one, number two, then the higher power can take over and do whatever. But you do have some control in your life. A lot of people is just I have no control. I'm a victim. Look what happened to me. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And that I can't stand for.
How does one define faith in their own belief, in the vision, the process? Especially learning from somebody like you that literally had blind faith when maybe faith didn't have room to exist. How did you use those lessons in helping with your recovery after the stroke and actually building yourself in the business that you have right now? I think that's a really interesting, concept. Faith is an interesting concept.
It really is.
Faith is one of the few things where you literally need to just hope that it's going to happen and just let go.
Yeah.
And I think the way people, I heard this today on a podcast, and I know I asked you the question. I'm just going to interject here for a second and just share this with you.
Please.
We always think about letting go as in relinquishing power. But actually letting go or having faith is actually crystallizing your conviction and trusting in the process. I think for a lot of people that are stuck right now, trying to figure out how to pivot, what's the next move? I lost my job, I lost my girlfriend, I lost my dog, I lost whatever I lost. How do you find faith in these tumultuous times to help recover the life that you've always wanted to create, the business you've always wanted to build, the empire you want to leave behind?
That's a good question, man. Your questions are hard, man. You are probably one of the best podcast hosts that have had me on the show, man. I salute you, man. I'm gonna learn a lot from you today, man. My questions for you next week will be very easy, so you'll be sleeping. Like, oh, okay.
I don't think that's true, but
man, that's a good question. Look, I had nothing but faith. I mean, like, my back against the wall. I had two choices. Again, I keep saying the thing over and over: faith over fear. I did fear my whole life, man. I mean, I had my stroke at 35. I'm 43 right now. For 35 years, man. Like, when the person sitting in front of you, the entrepreneur, owns 2 businesses, 3, whatever I own, right? So that's irrelevant. Decent shape, works out every day, eats healthy, father, husband, friend. It wasn't the person 7 years ago. Things will happen to you. Think of it as maybe God is pushing you. If you're in real estate and your business slow down, this is a sign from God to say, hey, either you should go and get better at your skill sets. Bro, 3 years ago, you could throw a rock and sell me a home, buy me a home. I was a full-time agent. We make great money. But that time's not here now. So in life, fate taught me that you always keep moving and pivoting. So sit there and say, okay, now I'm here. I'm at the roadblock. Should I quit? Should I jump over the wall? Should I go around it? And that's where it comes to you to sit down and design your reality with faith. What do I mean by that? Like, we can design our reality. Like, we had a bunch of conversation right now in the waiting room. Like,
we should have recorded that by the way.
We should have. Like, real estate is slowed down, but it's not dead yet. Are you the best communicator? Are you lazy because you made so much money 3-4 years ago? It's like now your mindset, like, oh, it's not that easy anymore. So you know what? The market's crappy. No, maybe it's time for you to say, wait a minute. Okay, that market was different. Let me design. So I want to do 2 deals a month. Before I can literally call 2 people and get 2 deals a month. Now I have to call probably 200 people. How do I do that?
It's funny you say that. There's a new stat that essentially says 50% of the listings that are on the market right now are being delisted.
Yes, I saw that yesterday.
So you literally need to list 2 properties in order to sell 1.
Yes.
That's the kind of market that we're in. You know, and there's some sellers out there that are just testing the market.
Yes.
They're not really in the market to sell. And the prices are unrealistic compared to where a correction would be expected. And it's funny because the trend is a lot of properties are going off market. So it's going to reduce a little bit of the inventory that's there, but there's still 500,000 more sellers in our market today in this country than buyers available out there to go and buy a house. And you know what? I'm going to speak to the consumers out there. I think you really need to be guided by a team of professional people that can really guide you through this process, really come up with some really creative ways to help you list, market your properties. I think if you're working with a buyer, I think it's pertinent for you to realize that this is one of the greatest opportunities where you have selection, you have inventory at your disposal, you can take your time to make a better decision on your next purchase. And I really think that you can negotiate a much, much better deal in today's market with a seller than you would have last year, 2 years ago, or 3 years ago. But what's interesting is when I got into the real estate market, you pretty much could only move under $150,000 condos to foreign investors because nobody was buying anything over here and there wasn't any financing available. And then as you start to kind of lean in and understand what the market's doing, you start to kind of pave your way or find a niche in which you can run down and grow a business with. But in my case, it was international business. You know, in your case, it was maybe managing a team or pivoting into something else. And I think you're right. I think you're giving the most valuable advice for someone in this time right now. This quiet time is luxurious. It's a luxurious time that cannot be replaced. It's almost like the quality time people experienced during COVID. They could just be with their families. But a lot of people were struggling, worrying about what's going to happen in the future and worrying about where that next income was coming from, or if somebody was going to get ill, or whatever the case may be. Now is one of those very similar and parallel times. The whole economy is quieting down. And there's a lot of opportunities for a lot of people that are waiting in the sidelines, waiting to figure out what it is. You know, and I'm not going to be the one that's going to preach real estate is the answer. It definitely and very well can be. But there's several different things that you need to take advantage of. And maybe this is one of those times where it's good to hone a new skill. It's good to go out and finally do that thing you've always wanted to do, which is maybe a baking channel on social media. Maybe it's a podcast. Maybe it's a new business. Maybe it's a new side hustle. Maybe it's day trading. Maybe it's drop shipping. I don't know. But we live in a world where all you have to really decide is what you want to do. You don't even need to worry about figuring it out because there are so many different ways that you can just literally jump on ChatGPT and say, what's the best way that I can execute this? And you can literally get somewhat of a loose manual on how to proceed in growing your business. The information is out there today. It's what we can do to find our passion and be able to share it with the world. You are able to turn around your story and founded what I thought was a brilliant name for a podcast, which is The Stroke of Success. Like, literally, no pun intended. What was the original vision behind such an incredible name? I mean, seriously, that's marketing gold right there.
Yeah, it's so funny. I'm laughing because the person who came up with it is my wife's brother, Bilal. He's gonna probably watch this. Bilal, we love you. I love you, man. I called him one day. Look, I was the only child without any family. My wife came in my life, and she brought me a pair of parents, a sister and a brother, and I'm forever grateful to her for that. I talked to my brother-in-law. I had a conversation like, Billy, I'm going to do my podcast. What do you think about a name? And he goes, what's your podcast going to be about? I'm like, listen, it'll be about, stroke, survival, recovery, entrepreneurship, mindset, all that good stuff. And he goes, okay, you know what? Let's talk about different names. And he goes, man, Stroke of Success. So it was going to be either Stroke to Success, first option, or Stroke of Success. And I'm like, boom, done. Right there, a light bulb went on, and that's where it came about, man. Started this 2 years ago from my desk in my Logitech camera on my laptop. My wife was at work watching it one day. She's like, babe, it's like you're sitting in the bathroom. There's like there's like steam in your room. It's what the fuck are you doing, dude? And I'm like, you know what? You're right. Slowly went to studio, and I have over 80 guests so far. Knock on wood. I have a studio in Miami, Wynwood. I go to. I have 2 studios here in Central Florida. This is one. I even shot one here too. And alhamdulillah, man, a podcast has come a long way from us.
It's a really great way to communicate not only your story but your message.
Yes,
your vision for what it is that you're trying to create. And I think it's a really great enrollment tool for a lot of people that are out there going through whatever it is that they're going through. I really truly believe that when you deliver content authentically and genuinely, there's a message out there for someone ready to listen to it. I truly believe in the adage, when the student is ready, the master appears. And, oftentimes it comes as a stroke of genius. I love your story because, you share the comeback stories of others on your podcast. I'm really curious to know how your story fits into the broader narrative of the guests that you're interviewing and how people are perceiving not only your story, but their stories as well, too.
Yeah, that's a good question. Look, we're coming, every one of us is coming back with something. We are. Some is worse than other, right? Stroke is way above than heartbreak. But my principal philosophy, my vision for the podcast was no matter what you are recovering from. I told you early on, off camera now, once again, I had dealt with substance abuse in my past. So, I recovered from that. I recovered from a stroke. I recovered from losing my mom at age 20. I recovered from my dad leaving me at age 6. I recovered from some bad financial time. Like we all have. I'm no one special, right? The only thing I say about myself is that what makes me special versus other people is I'm willing to go on camera and share my vulnerabilities and share the stories of how I was in bed after the stroke and peeing and pooping on myself. I had to call the person to come in the room and change my diaper. No one will share that anywhere. I'm sharing that. Why? Because I feel that your audience will watch this. Someone from your audience or someone from some of my audience will watch this and say, wow, that person went through that much. And my wife left me, I guess, or my husband left me. The world's not over, man. It's not over. Like, stop that shit. Yes, I cried. Yes, I got emotional. Yes, I sometimes sit there and I'm like, man, like, why did my dad have to leave my mom? Why did my mom have to leave so early on? But listen, things happen. There's a life still going on. Doesn't stop for anyone. The story's not over yet. You're here for a special purpose. God, you are God's greatest creation. First and foremost, you have to believe that. You have to believe that you have a greater purpose than what you think it is. Number one. Number two, what is that? sit there. Now we have all these tools in the world that we can use. ChatGPT is one of them. We can sit there and utilize and design our reality. Listen, if real estate not working out for now, go on a fucking podcast like you did. I love your channel, bro. I love your brand. I love your message. I think you interviewed my buddy Wild the other day, and you said something on this really amazing point I loved. I don't practice real estate full time, but I do here and there. You said, listen, you don't need an agent anymore to buy a house. 2 days ago, I loved it. I think I reshared it too. You don't need an agent to buy a house anymore, but I suggest you get one.
The cost of not having one is far greater than trying to figure this out on your own. You can't chat GPT this.
You can't. But listen now, other agents can go on a podcast, say the same thing. And who knows? So what I'm trying to say is, if you're in real estate right now and things are slow, which I knew was going to happen. Like you can't be an idiot and say, well, it's time to keep going up. You can't say that. It's a business. It's ups and downs, the circles, right? This shall pass. There's a good interview with Robert De Niro, some actor, Tom Hanks, sitting down like this, a round table, and Tom Hanks talks about this.
So nice, yeah.
Good times will come, they shall pass. Bad times will come, those will pass. That's the one you're talking about, right? That's the one. Things will come and go. Good times and bad times. Nothing stands forever, man. Nothing does.
You've heard the Solomon story?
No.
Solomon had wealth beyond imagination. He had everything, right? As he was the wealthiest man at the time. And he went to one of his advisors, and I hope I'm telling the story right. And he asked his advisor for a ring. And he gave the condition that whenever I look at it, if I was sad, I want to be happy. And if I was happy, I needed to remember the couplet, the opposite of it. His advisors went far and wide to go and look for this ring, and they went to the mountaintops and to the corners of the earth, only to come back to town to go to this one jeweler, goldsmith, whatever. And they told him of Solomon's request, and they ran into the back, and they came back and they were like, this is the one. And the advisor was so ecstatic by this that he had to go back and give it to Solomon. But Solomon was in the middle of a festivity, and he wondered why his advisors were stopping the festivity for this gift. It could just wait for later on. He goes, we found the ring for you. The ring had an engraving on the inside that said, this too shall pass.
Oh, wow.
It's beautiful, right?
Simple stuff like that, simple statement like that is so impactful.
It's true because, facts tell, stories really sell. And I mean that from the genuinity of being authentic and telling a story that is going to yield that kind of impact that you're looking at. And storytelling plays a big role in what it is that we do every day in our life, whether we're, creating our brand or doing our podcast or running your business or being a real estate agent or a mom. It's a story. It's a story that you tell yourself. And I think after interviewing so many people over the course of the last 4 or 5 years, and I just had this epiphany right now. I can't believe I'm sharing this with you. I've noticed that there's a pattern. And this pattern is so powerful. And one of the times it popped up to me the most. One of my favorite documentaries that I like watching is Chef's Table on Netflix. You go through 4 or 5 seasons and, pizza episodes and noodle episodes and Asian food, or Michelin, it doesn't matter. The common framework when they tell the story of all these varied, highly accomplished chefs is essentially the same story of mankind, right? And it's the story of the guides or the guest's guide from pain to purpose. It's literally the story of the hero. It's the hero's journey to find himself. And it's essentially the story of mankind. It's the story where you have a dream, a vision, and ambition, and no direction, no map, no sail, no rudder, just faith, conviction, whatever you want to call it. A guided inner mindset or framework for where only you believe you can go. And it doesn't matter what the world thinks, because if you can separate yourself from the external conditions of your environment, then in the realm of impossibility, guess what? Everything's possible, right? So I think it's really interesting because I've come to realize is that one of the things that I've really enjoyed doing is what we shared outside of this interview, which is through conversation, you can really start to understand where a lot of people's pain points and passion really exist. And they say oftentimes your greatest trauma is often parallelly linked to your superpower. Your trauma has allowed you to go out and touch the world, right? So what's your story? What are you going to achieve?
Nailed it. It's so interesting you said that. Did you get that from my thing recently? This thing, story power, superpower?
No, actually, just something that... No.
Dude, are you serious?
I swear to God.
Because I'll tell you a story. I told you I spoke on stage with Mario Lopez. That was my theme. My keynote, 25 minutes on stage, 500 people. That was it. Your story is your superpower. Here's my story. This is what I did with it. Most people want to hold it, hide with it, and hide from it and hold it in. Embrace it, share it, and fucking go live it. And I mean, law of attraction, for the best example, law of attraction. What's your story? And how do you want your story to end eventually? You do have some control. You do have something to do with your story. Stop there and stop blaming Allah or Jesus or Moses or Hashem or Yeshiva or the Hindu gods that, oh my God, this is my story. This is my kismat. Poor me. Fuck you, man. Especially, look.
I really respect that you said that.
If you live in America, even how bad Canada is right now, if you live in North America, you live in Europe, okay, I get it, right? Maybe you live in Iraq, Iran, Pakistan, Bangladesh, okay, fine, I get it. Ethiopia, maybe, I get it. But if you live in any Western countries right now, you're watching this, you're sitting home and you say, oh my God, someone left me, I lost my job, poor me, go fuck yourself, man. Like, seriously, get up. Take a pen and paper, write your fucking goals down, design your fucking reality, pray to fucking higher power. Well, how are you going to pray? Do you want to go on a dawn namaz? You want to go to a church? You want to sit there and just close your eyes and say, God, please help me. Please present me 5 opportunities to go knock on some doors and have a conversation with whatever it might be for you. Go fucking do it, man. Enough is enough. From my story, 35 years old, I had plans to celebrate Christmas with my family. God had other plans that morning. Overnight, like this, I was in the hospital. Dude, I had no fucking goals. I had nothing in my life. I had nothing going on. I had the same person, same potential, same person here was then. But that person was so fearful. That person was so stuck in his head. That person was so stuck in their old ways that I had to go through a stroke to wake up and change my life. But you don't have to have a stroke to change your life. You don't need to hit rock bottom. You don't need to. Honestly, if you're watching this and you truly have a desire, intention to change the world, to change yourself, please go out there and start to make it happen. Find a coach. If you can't hire a coach, you don't have the money, I get it. Find a friend. Call me. Find a first person. Buy them lunch. Buy them a cup of coffee. Pick their brain and take fucking action.
Massive action. And I think, you're right, man. Like you just sometimes you just need some guidance. Sometimes you just need a good friend, a mentor to talk to. And sometimes even if you can't find them, just design the life for what you would like to live, and these people will show up. You know, this is not some hocus pocus stuff. I mean, we sit down in real estate and go, you know, I want to help 100 families this year. That's great. How are you planning to do that on January 1st? Right? And your goals probably not, or your course of action is probably going to change throughout the course of the year. And you're probably going to need to learn some new skills and so on and so forth. Big deal. You know, we live in a reactionary world waiting for evidence to show up from the outside world. And I'm telling you, I think the best part about this story is the story of resilience, the story of legacy, the story of impact, of purpose. It's a story of leadership. It's a story of branding and communicating who you are and how you show up in this world. It's a strategy to success. And I hate to take a page out of your book, but it's also the stroke of success. What emotional legacy do you hope to leave behind after all the episodes you've recorded, after all the businesses that you've opened, from coming from where you came from?
What's the legacy in as far as like philosophy, ideas, you mean? Overall legacy? Oh, dude, tomorrow's not a promise to live your best life today. I have 2 daughters at home, Aiza and Iman. Aiza's 8, Iman's 7 or 9 and 8. I'm sorry. They're very fortunate to have parents that have done well for themselves. Their life is very different versus their mom and their dads. But I tell them all the time, every day when you wake up, try to do better than the day before. Number 1. Number 2, tomorrow is not promised. And people say that's cliche and whatever. Listen, look at my story. We've lost people. We have lost friends in life. We have plans to have dinner with this person next week, and you get a phone call. That person's no longer there. You don't know when your tickets run out. So, if you take anything from my story, from my branding, start living your life now. There's a principle of law of attraction I'm really into. It's called law of assumption. Example: I'm gonna get in shape. I'm gonna buy those clothes. I'm gonna do that stuff. I'm gonna do this when I come to that level. No, you fucking idiot! Don't do that. Start living that life now. If you want to be a CEO, start living like a CEO now. If you want to be a high performer realtor who's just $20-30 million of gross revenue a year, start living like that now. So, for example, if you want to be a top performing realtor, they're out there. They're still killing it, man. Ken Pozek, we talked about him. How did Ken Pozek wake up in the morning? What does he do? What's his morning rituals? What are his habits? How is he planning his day? Start doing those things now. I promise you, your life will start to catch up with that.
Tough question.
Oh, man, you have tough questions.
If you could speak to your pre-stroke self,
all the time,
what would you say?
Oh, shut the fuck up. We get it. Look, and I get it, KB. I get it. I'm gonna do it right now. I'm gonna do this for you. I'm gonna look at you, pretend you're the old KB. I was like, KB, I get it. Your mom died. You loved her. Your dad left. We get it. It's not easy being raised in Brooklyn, New York in the 80s. We get it. Food stamps, welfare, money was really tight. We get it. But you got a lot of love. Your uncles, your mom and brothers loved you. They still love you. They adore you. You met this amazing girl who changed your life. KB, get the fuck over it. You have endless potential. Believe in yourself, number 1. Number 2, find a mentor, find someone, a coach, a friend, bounce ideas off of them. Number 2. Number 3, sit there with a journal or notebook with a pen, just you by yourself, and write down the 5 to 6 things that you're good at. Then next line, do something 5, 6 different things you want to do with your life. And to start with that, man. Start with that. Life is beautiful, buddy. You don't know how valuable it is to now. Don't wait till it's taken away from you.
We're very much alike. And enough is never enough for me. And it's really my driving force for everything that I want to create. I'm almost like a little kid. I was like, wow, that was great. What else can we do? What else can we create? What other targets can we hit? How will you know that you've brought purpose and full circle to your life and business?
How would I know I brought purpose and brought my business, my life all full circle? Oh, man. My kids turn out to be really good, humble individuals with good values and principles, and they fear God. That'd be number one. Number two, man, that's a hard question, man. I started a foundation for my mom, Aisha Bukhari Foundation in Pakistan. I want to bring it globally one day. I'm working on it. If I can be on my deathbed and before I go to my higher power, if I can look at some type of report, something, and say, hey, you the cause you started with a friend, with the assistance of your friends raising funds in your community, you have now opened X, Y amount of schools across the world. You helped X amount of people across the world. And now those people are in a better place than they were before. That, to me, my friend, will be the scoreboard.
When the world went silent around you, what did you whisper to yourself in those quiet moments?
At first, like, what the fuck you did? You did it yourself. This is your fault. Again, KB, once again, there you go. So I always start with beating myself up. Then I go into this mode of like, it's okay. But the stroke time, the last time, it was like, this cannot be it. It's time to fucking wake up. Because prior to that, though, I had a lot of mentors, former employers tell me, like, KB, your potential's here, buddy, you're operating here. They never understand what they're saying. I never understood it, right? And stroke was one of those things that say, hey, enough is enough. The world is waiting for you to see what you got. It's your time to go on stage.
Now understand, huh?
Mm-hmm.
What part of your story still feels untold, even after all the progress and the achievements you've made?
What part of my story feels untold? You know, this is a hard question, man. Look, my dad, my mom divorce really affected me. It hurts, man. Not having a parent today, like your mom called you 5-10 minutes ago, such a sweet gesture. He talking about his mom going to Mexico. I'm very fortunate to have my mother-in-law as my mom now. But and she'll do the same thing. She'll call me, hey, I'm coming. What do you need? What do you want? But the fact of not having a parent in your life, man, people don't understand how important that is. And I saw your videos. You went back to Canada to surprise your family. I love this, dude. That video was like so sweet. Your family's there. And one thing I'm really proud of you also, that you're doing that shit, man. Like, you spend time with your family, your parents. They don't take that for granted. A lot of us do. I don't know how old you are. I'm 40, early 40s. We're in the middle age right now. We're trying to figure out our second part of our life. We often forget our parents. Don't do that.
Yeah. Thank you. This was phenomenal. I really appreciate you being here. And you're welcome to come back whenever you want.
Thank you, Dawood.
Thank you for an incredible interview.
Well, thank you for having me, man.
Pleasure. If you enjoyed this podcast, please connect with us and watch more of our other episodes. Your support not only helps grow the channel, but gives other guests the opportunity to tell their inspiring stories to help hopefully change one of your lives. You know what to do. Like, share, subscribe, and tell your friends about what it is that we're trying to do by sharing these incredible stories with the world. Thank you for watching Real Sense Now.